So when I started out thinking about the RCMP, I was 17 years old. I live for motorcycles. I've had motorcycles since I was 13 years old, and early on I was told that they aren't allowed on the road. I tended to drive them on the road, and RCMP officers tended to pull me over and tell me, you shouldn't be on the road. And instead of giving me tickets, there was one particular officer named Perry Brophy who was really helpful in getting through my teenage years without getting in too much trouble. Perry Brophy attended a house in the late 70s, and the gentleman in the house was arrested for having a domestic dispute with his wife, and the gentleman said he wanted to go to the bedroom to get some toys for his kids, and when he went in the bedroom, he came out with a rifle and shot Perry Brophy and Corporal Lindstrom dead, and then he shot himself. At that point, that was about 10 minutes from my house, and I told everybody that I knew that I was going to take Perry Brophy's place. And later on in my career, I was in Halifax telling this story to a bunch of Mounties in a coffee room. And there was this big guy over in the corner, and he was bawling his eyes out. And I went over to him and I said, buddy, I'm sorry, that I made you upset. And he said, you didn't. He said, you made me proud. He said, Perry was my brother. So that was really fulfilling, knowing that 13 years after I got into the Mounted Police, that I was able to make somebody really proud because I was taking his brother's spot. And to get into the Mounties, when I applied when I was 18, they said, well, you have to have related work experience or a degree. And I had nothing. I left high school. I worked to work in a meat plant. My job was taking a side of beef and lugging it and putting it in a truck. And I was trying to get old enough to join the Mounties. So what better way to get in shape than throwing around boxes of bologna or wieners or fronts of beef? So, okay, I need a degree or related work experience. I started working at the Department of Justice in a correctional center for young offenders September of 1982. And I started at the University of New Brunswick in September of 1982. So I literally went to university all day and worked in a correctional center all night, full-time jobs, both of them for 5 years. And I went back and knocked on the door of the RCMP and said, I got both. Time for me to go to Regina. And then I phoned the recruiter every Friday at 2:30 for 9 months until they got tired of me calling and said, we'll put you on a plane to Regina if you'll just stop phoning. And they did. And I think some of them have regretted it ever since, but not really.